I've never filmed a vlog outside before, and it feels really weird because it feels like people are listening to me, even though I'm pretty sure they aren't. The cool thing is that I can turn up the audio in post-production so that even though I'm practically whispering, you could probably still hear me. It's especially weird because my freshman history teacher lives next door, and if his wife is listening, then it's kind of weird, but whatever. I want to talk about celebrities and the concept of celebrity and why it's kind of a weird concept. I watched Amelia Burger's 2 videos about these things, and I also saw a video from Jack's Gap about when he went to Play This Live, and in that video, one thing that particularly struck me was that a girl ran into the 2 boys, Jack and Finn, and she literally started hysterically crying and hugging them, and she just couldn't function. I think it's so dangerous that we put people on such a pedestal. It worries me that people idolize people who they don't know. I'm sure Jack and Finn are lovely people, but this girl doesn't actually know whether she can see them as role models. Maybe you like someone's craft, if they're a filmmaker or an actor or an artist that you really like, but to say that person is so great is something that I'm not really comfortable that we do. I've met some people who are kind of on the smaller end of famous. I met Tommy Wiseau, who is the mastermind of sorts behind the cult film The Room. If you haven't heard of The Room, I highly urge you to look it up because it's hilariously terrible. And then I went to the Extremely Ordinary tour where I met that Zach and Adam Robinson and all those people. And it's cool to meet these people who make something that you admire, or in Tommy Wiseau's case, enjoy because it's terrible. But I try not to experience the whole fangirling thing. I try to remember that these people are humans, and sometimes it's hard. I don't know why it's hard. I mean, I guess because they're unfamiliar to me, so it's hard for me to see them as just kind of an everyday person. But I'm sure when Charlie and Alex get together, they aren't like, we are big YouTube stars. I'm sure they just think of each other as being friends, and that's how I think we should see them. They're just people. One of my best friends that I met through YouTube is Luciano from Spant Online. We get along so well, and we've been friends for almost a year now, which is really weird to think about. And before we were friends, I was a fan of him. I liked his stuff, and I really admired his talent. The way we became friends is I liked his Facebook page, and then he friended me as kind of a thank you for doing so, and then we just kind of got to talking. And then we Skyped when he was coming home from VidCon, and then we just kind of became really close. When he first friended me on Facebook, I kind of had this moment of fangirling, and especially when he asked me to participate in a web series that he did, I was like freaking out because this was somebody who I admired. I think for me it was more that a person that I admired recognized me in return. I think it had less to do with him and more about me. For me it was really cool that he wanted to talk to me because that made me kind of feel cool and kind of feel validated, if that makes sense. But I don't really understand the screaming fangirl thing. I've been to concerts where girls are just screaming, and I don't understand that. It makes everything else less enjoyable. You can't really enjoy the craft if you're too busy idolizing the person. Yes, it's cool to meet big stars, but I just urge everybody and urge myself to remember that they're a human and I'm a human, and we're all just people, even if some of us are more talented than others. I'm going to return to reading, and I will see you tomorrow.